Hey there, how's it going? Chase here, and this is my review of Werewolves Within, a horror comedy from IFC that hits everywhere where movies are able to be rented July 2nd. I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me to say. I've practiced this opening like a million times and I still couldn't get it, so you're going to get what you're going to get. So, the plot synopsis reads as follows: a feature adaptation of the video game where werewolves attack a small town. Couple notes on that. Number one, it's a video game adaptation, so you know we're batting good numbers right now. It is super rare when a video game adaptation is good. It's very common when they're bad. So, and a lot of them just kind of fall in the middle where you just forget about them after 2 weeks. But yeah, video game adaptations are really hard to crack in terms of making them good. That's what it boils down to. And then the second thing is I've never even heard of this video game, but it must be big enough to warrant a movie. So that's on me. I don't know why this didn't register with me, but when I was looking it up, it has like a similar storyline where it's a VR game and you're a POV of someone who's in a small town trying to guess who's a werewolf with everyone that you interact with. It sounds like a load of fun. So IFC is making me, definitely not my own free will, but after watching this movie and wanting to play the video game now, IFC is basically forcing my hand to spend funds on a computer and a VR headset, and I don't have those funds, so IFC, I'm just going to blame you for that one. I guess it's a good problem to have because that means your movie was effective. And then the second, or the last thing before I get into the review is that, plopping this movie in the middle of summer, that tells me that IFC has the confidence that this movie's going to kill, pun intended, in theaters, online, rented, whatever. And they were right. This movie's outstanding. I love this movie so much, and it has one of my favorite things about a movie, rewatchability factor, where I could watch this movie on loop over and over again. It's just that entertaining. And honestly, if you're looking for, a comedy, a horror comedy, or just something fresh and new this weekend, I suggest this one to the highest regard of any review. I love it. Also, keep in mind, this is something I really enjoy, which are horror comedies. And, the cast is amazing. It's an ensemble movie for sure. And it's just really just quick with its comedy. It's fresh. And just it comes out of nowhere like a speeding bullet. Hits you in the face and you're like, wow, I had so much fun with that. So, yeah, it's pretty great. So let's break this down. It is directed by Josh Rubin, and I've actually never heard of this gentleman. And then when I went to his IMDb page, I see that he is an actor, first and foremost. He's been in a few things I've seen, like the show You're the Worst. I also see that he was in a lot of College Humor stuff. He was also in Plan B, which I just watched like a couple weeks ago. So it's kind of just one of those actors to where I'm pretty sure if you see enough of, just like most of the cast in this movie, you go, oh yeah, that person. But this is the first thing I've ever seen him direct. He needs to direct more. I don't care what he directs. He could direct a toilet paper commercial. I'll watch it. This movie is like a great, just a showcase of your talents. Josh Rubin, besides the cast and the editing, he's my favorite aspect about this. He treats this movie like something recent, like a Knives Out. Like this murder mystery, and just the way he frames his shots, the way he executes the jokes with the framing of characters in the shots and just the timing of the jokes. It's got like this dry sense of humor. It's absurd at some points, but you're still invested in the story and like this little mystery of like who's the werewolf and everything. It is such just an expertly directed movie in terms of a horror comedy that I haven't seen in quite some time. I mentioned earlier, like the staging of the jokes, the way he would have the actors move in and out of the frame or position them, have them deliver the lines, pause, time it, have someone else say the other, like the joke or whatever, but still sit in the same frame. It's stuff like that. It's stuff where people are popping into the frame to say the joke. It's a kind of fresh and kind of just vibrant way to tell your jokes and your story and just move your characters along. It was so engaging on his front. And so that's one aspect to the comedy that works so well. The second is the cast. This whole cast, this ensemble piece is amazing. Everyone hits their mark. No one misses anything. Everyone's timing is impeccable. Everyone's got the pauses are timed out perfectly. Just the improv that might flutter out every now and then. It's wonderful. Like there's nothing that's wasted. It's such an airtight type of group. I was kind of astounded because Ruben has to do that too. He's got to direct every single person in the scene. And there's a lot of scenes where you're dealing with multiple people. And there's a lot of lines that are not shouted over each other, but the actors they're saying their line and the other person is reciprocating, but it's happening at such lightning pace that you understand everything that's happening at you, but it's happening in such a perfect manner. The jokes hit almost every single time. And that is just astounding to see. So the whole cast is amazing. Sam Richardson is the lead. I've seen him throughout the years as just kind of like the sidekick or the person in the background or, cast lead number 4. Like he's never been the lead of a movie that I have personally seen. And he's wonderful. And he's likable. He's engaging. He's always funny in my book. He was even in a movie this week with the Tomorrow War. He's just a likable person. And I just like watching him on screen. The charisma is just shooting through the roof. Milena Vantrub, I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. She's the AT&T girl. That's what everyone's going to notice. This is my actual first movie that I've seen with her in it. She's also really funny. Like just like with those commercials, like you see glimpses of that, but you don't see like the full picture in her of her acting range. She is just absolutely wonderful, and she kind of plays the love interest, kind of co-lead of the film. And her and Richardson are two peas in a pod. Their chemistry is just bursting through the roof. So she's also really, really good. And then just to kind of shoot down like everyone else that I think plays all of an equal part. I think they're all literally the third lead of the film. It's just this whole group. I've always never wondered how to pronounce his... ever wondered? Guys, my brain's just all over the place. I've never guessed this gentleman's last name. Is it Basil or Basil? Mr. Basil. I'm going to call him Mr. Basil for now. George Basil is also really funny. He was on that show Crashing. He was one of my favorite parts, says Leaf. Please watch that show if you haven't, so you can understand his comedic abilities. He's great. Sarah Burns, Michael Chernus. There's a bit with a body part that nearly killed me with laughter. It just is so good. Catherine Curtin, Wayne Duvall, and then one of my personal favorites because he's also in another great horror comedy show, What We Do in the Shadows, Mr. Harvey Gilleen. His character's name is Joaquin, not Joaquin. It's Joaquin with an M. Once again, it just shows that he's really great at his craft, because if you see What We Do in the Shadows and his dry sensibilities, he just applies that here and he just ramps it up to a 10 and he kills it. It's just so great. Rebecca Henderson's also really funny because she plays like this very like straight-laced scientist that's like trying to figure out everything. And then Cheyenne Jackson, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He plays like a dual role with Harvey. That chemistry is also through the roof. It's just incredible. Like, I wonder who the casting director is, because they are probably the star of the review. I just changed my mind. See, I'm all over the place. The casting director is the star of this film. Bravo. Michaela Watkins, I've seen her in a lot of stuff. She's really great here. And then there's just so many more people that are in this movie. But this is truly an ensemble piece, and everyone's timing is so good, and you can definitely break down each scene just to see like how each person is delivering their line and how well it's edited and structured together, and just how cohesively it feels, and everyone hits their mark. It almost feels like a play sometimes, but yeah, everyone just worked together so well, and everyone's personalities shined. Not only their real life personalities and like their performances, but also the personalities of their characters, because this is very much a small town with personalities, and that's why we like watching these movies. Not necessarily the story, not necessarily like the plot twist or whatever. It's the, can you be invited into a town and fall in love with the people, fall in love with their goofballery or whatever they're doing, and just go along for the ride. And that's what this is. It's just a town with just goofy personalities trying to make it through a situation, and they're just fun to watch. And then, like I said, the third thing that kind of makes this movie what it is the editing. It is just absolutely edited to perfection, to a point where when the movie was done, an hour, about 30 minutes, because about 7 minutes for credits, I was like, first of all, I want to see more. I want to see sequels to this. Like, this felt like a 10-minute movie. It was so fast and just so entertaining that I was like, this is what makes it right here, is the pace and the rhythm of it, and just everyone having a blast on set, telling the jokes. It just directed to perfection. I don't know what else to say. This is, without a doubt, one of my favorite movies of the year. I love it. If you love these types of movies, check it out. It's just a blast from start to finish. I mean, that's the best way I could describe it. So there you go. So let me know down below what you thought of Werewolves Within. If you played the video game, let me know that too. Have you liked the movie, hated the movie, whatever, please let me know down below. But I really hope that if someone's having a bad weekend, I'm hoping this recommendation gets you out of that funk, because I too had a stressful day the day I saw it, and then afterwards I wanted to just go enjoy life and just laugh. Like that's it put me in such a great mood. So thank you, IFC and Werewolves Within. So let me know down below what you thought of this movie, and that will do it for this review. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.